Once upon a chilling November evening, three friends named Mark, Sarah, and Mike decided to embark on a hunting trip deep in the woods of North Carolina. They were experienced hunters, seeking adventure in the vast wilderness. Little did they know that this particular trip would haunt them forever. The trio set up their campsite near an old, decrepit cabin rumored to be cursed. Locals had warned them about strange happenings in those woods, but they brushed off the superstitions, believing in science over folklore. Their first day of hunting was uneventful. They returned to their campsite, cooked their catch, and laughed around the campfire. But as the night grew darker, a feeling of unease settled upon them. The forest silence was eerie, as if nature itself held its breath. Mark, always the skeptic, suggested telling ghost stories to lighten the mood. But as they shared tales of haunted woods and malevolent spirits, they couldn't help but feel watched. Around midnight, a distant howl echoed through the trees, chilling their bones. They knew it wasn't any ordinary animal. Sarah, feeling brave, decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight, she ventured into the forest, disappearing into the shadows. Minutes felt like hours as Mark and Mike anxiously waited. Suddenly, they heard Sarah scream. They rushed towards the direction of the scream, their hearts pounding. They found her in a state of shock, mumbling about seeing something inhuman in the darkness. Panicking, they decided to pack up and leave immediately, but as they approached their car, they discovered it had been vandalized. All the tires were slashed and the windows were shattered. Stranded in the heart of the haunted forest, they had no choice but to return to their campsite. Once back at the camp, they locked themselves in the cabin, feeling safer indoors. But the cabin had its own horrors awaiting them. Unearthly whispers filled the air, and the temperature dropped dramatically. Mark and Mike could see their breath in the freezing room. Then they heard footsteps outside, heavy and deliberate. Whatever it was circling the cabin. Panic consumed them as they realized they were trapped with no way to defend themselves. Suddenly, the cabin's door burst open, sending splinters flying. In the doorway stood a grotesque, hulking figure with hollow, glowing eyes and a twisted grin. It let out a bone-chilling laugh as it lunged towards them. Mark, Sarah, and Mike fought for their lives, using their hunting gear as makeshift weapons. But the creature was relentless, seemingly impervious to their attacks. It overpowered them one by one, dragging them into the darkness. Morning light revealed the cabin in shambles, with no sign of the three friends. A search party was organized, but their efforts were in vain. Mark, Sarah, and Mike were never seen again. The locals knew the truth, though. They had warned the trio about the cursed woods and the malevolent presence that dwelled there. The forest had claimed its victims, and the haunting hunt would remain a terrifying legend in those woods forever.